welcome to another episode of Boardrooms, Babies and Bubbly. I am your host, Mots Ehouman, and today we're talking about growing where you're planted. You know, sometimes life tosses us with unexpected challenges, especially in our careers. You might find yourself in a job that no longer fulfills you, or just in a situation that you've never anticipated, right? And this can leave us feeling quite uninspired and demotivated and just questioning a lot of things. But understanding the importance of embracing where it is that you are in your career or in your life can be so powerful. Towards the end of this video, I'm going to share with you 3 tips on how to navigate your career seasons and ultimately grow where you're planted. Every time I think of this idea of navigating career seasons, I'm reminded of a quote by French philosopher Albert Camus. And what he said was, in the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer. I love that. In the midst of winter, I found there was in me an invincible summer. It resonates so much with me because it's just a reminder of this idea of remaining resilient, being open to the lessons that God or the universe is trying to teach you as you go through a very difficult chapter in your career or in your life. And I want to share with you just my own journey, a period in my career that felt like a winter, right? And just all the lessons that I learned during that period, how those lessons prepared me for what is now starting to feel like, well, not quite an invincible summer just as yet, but definitely an amazing spring. So the first time my first work assignment outside of South Africa, my home country, was in West Africa. I first started in Ghana and then moved to Côte d'Ivoire. I've always been so intrigued by West Africa, right? The history, the culture, the food, the music. And I remember reading Maya Angelou's book, The Heart of a Woman, when I was 15. And she spoke a lot about her adventures and her experiences in Ghana. And I remember thinking, one day I'm definitely going to live there. So fast forward 15 years, I find myself living and working in Accra. It kind of felt like spring, new beginnings, a chapter that I had prayed and dreamed about was finally happening. But very quickly, that spring turned to winter. I think a lot of the time, what people don't talk about is, I don't want to call it the downside, but just some of the challenges that come with living so far away from home, right? So one of the things that I experienced was just like the sense of loneliness. I didn't really know anyone. I had one friend in Ghana. I'd left so much of my life, my family, my rituals back home, right? And I had to really start over. For the first time in my life, I had to be the one that like, hi, I'm Mott, I'm the new kid. Please can I be your friend? Please invite me to the braai. So I really had to step out of my comfort zone. And I'm grateful for that because it's something now that comes a lot easier to me now and has helped me as I moved, to other countries, new organizations, right? Just being able now to assimilate and just find my space in a new environment is something that's become a lot easier for me. The other thing that's challenging, right, which also made it feel a little bit like a winter, was just having to navigate new societal norms. For example, in Ghana, in Côte d'Ivoire, it was having to learn a new language just so that I could have some sort of life outside of the office, right? And just find a way to get by. But all of that, I think the lessons from that are just really around being open to new experiences, being open to new ways of doing things. It's not weird, it's not strange, it's just different to what you know. And I think through that winter, I was really going through this process of unlearning, being open to unlearning, and breaking down to some of my mental models that I had of the world. And it was such a gift. It has been such a gift for me, right? And then lastly, like what also made this chapter a little bit challenging and what made it feel like a winter in my career was that when I was in South Africa, our leadership team at the time had really great female leaders on it. I think probably like 40 to 50% of our leadership team at the time was female. Um, and when I got to West Africa, it changed a little. The leaders around me were all male, and it felt intimidating at first. I had a little bit of imposter syndrome, but it was really through that time that I started to find my voice. I started to understand the importance of advocating for myself, and it's really where my passion for women in leadership, and just this idea of creating a community, holding space just for young female leaders, right? Just yeah, that's where this passion started, just from what I was experiencing and what I was having to navigate. And I'm forever grateful for those experiences, right? As difficult as they were, I think I learned so much and have become a better leader as a result of those experiences. So again, going back to, Albert Camus' quote, it's through these winters, through these chapters, that we're able to grow and learn and ultimately just prepare ourselves for the spring that's about to come. What I have learned in my career is that your spring season always does come. It will come, and sometimes it's just a matter of being patient and growing where you are, or growing where you're planted. So yeah, the 3 tips that I've learned throughout my career, navigating my career seasons, is tip number 1, embrace your winters. Be open to the challenge. That's how you're gonna grow, become more resilient. It's also a great time for you to reflect, right? Understand who you are a little bit better. I also think, as you embrace your winters, I always caution that you don't get caught up into, or rather get caught up in this cycle of peer comparison, right? That idea that everybody's lives are much better, or other people's careers are progressing so much faster than yours. Just like this whole Instagram, social media, culture of like comparing yourselves to others, right? Just always remember, as you're embracing your winters, you are on your own unique journey. And ultimately, like I said, your spring will eventually come. Be patient. Tip number 2 is to plant with purpose. I think be really intentional about what it is that you want for your career. Be bold and courageous when you think about your career aspirations. Reach out to people that you admire, your mentors, so that you can share your dreams with them, so that they can guide you and give you some tips on, what are the different milestones to get to your career goal, right? I'm very passionate about planting with purpose and being intentional about it, because it's very easy to find yourself in a situation where you're living your life off of other people's agendas or aspirations for you. And that can be a very disempowering place to be. And I feel like the only way to avoid that is being intentional about the seeds that you're planting for your career and for your life. And then tip number 3 is stay the course. When I was in Japan, one of my best friends, she's Japanese, and she shared once, just very randomly, this Japanese wisdom around, sometimes you've got to see things through for at least 3 years before you make any major decisions. And I share this in the context of a career, right? If you think about your job, right, or any new role, in year 1, you're still learning. Year 2, you're starting to, put your learnings into practice. You're building, you're creating stuff. And in year 3, you're really starting to reap the benefits, right? So sometimes it is about staying the course and being resilient and not giving up too soon. Because it's easy to throw in the towel, but you don't know what's waiting for you at the end of that winter, right? So if any of this, resonated with you, please go ahead and like and comment. I'd love to hear about how you've navigated your career seasons. And if there's someone in your group of friends or your workplace that you think would benefit from some of these insights and these lessons, please go ahead and share this video with them. And until the next time, until our next rendezvous, stay well, keep thriving, and remember to grow where you're planted. Okay, cheers for now. Bye.